right, here we go. Snap back with T-Mac. It's the halftime edition. We're back. What a heck of a first half. That was huge right there at the end of that second quarter. USC missing that field goal. They drove down the field, and they're going to get the ball coming out of half, so that was big. Madden, what's your thoughts on the first half?
I think defense got to step up. Offense is moving the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at both quarterbacks, Nussmeier and Miller Moss. Both guys have looked poised and unbelievable back there. They're comfortable in the pocket, and just watching them move down the field. I think LSU, our defense, I know we got to get a stop some kind of way. We had an opportunity early in the game where we got a hit on Moss. Ball was on the ground, and we didn't come up with it. We got to have another opportunity like that and be able to come up with those turnovers, because both of these offenses have shown that they can move the ball up and down the field. So we got to find a way to get a stop. You know, I'll tell you, I like what Coach Sloan has done on offense. You know, he's created some mismatches. He's gotten Lacey heavy into this game plan. And then Mason Taylor, you know, if you're going to try to – you can't double them both. So if you're going to try to take away Lacey, Mason Taylor has come up big. And, you know, he's both of those guys have made a lot of plays. We got to get our running game going. We hadn't had anything to speak of with our running game, so we got to make sure we get that going here in the second half. What are your keys, Madden? What you think this second half, other than, you know, stopping them? We got to get some stops. We got to be better in the back end. What you think? Who's going to be big for us in this second half?
Our secondary, they need to step up. Major Burns, I feel like he's going to make some big plays in the second half.
Yeah, I like it. And then we got a few questions. We're going to go take some questions off of the Facebook feed from a guy named Gordon Ray LeBlanc. You know him?
Yeah, I know.
Never heard of him. He wants to know about getting Kylan Jackson in there, getting him going. I agree with you. Yeah, he's been in, but he's talking about getting him going. Yeah. You know, we got to get the running game going. If we've shown what we can do with the passing game, but if we get that running game going, we're going to be.
Caleb Jackson?
Yeah, Caleb. What I say?
You said Kylan.
Oh, my bad. Kylan Jackson.
They both know.
Oh, Pee Wee did ask about Kylan Jackson.
Kylan Jackson's been in at safety.
So that's what he's asking. You know, you might get him in there. That boy from the Z, get him in there and let him make some plays. Jack's asking or saying that Nuss looks composed, not a gunslinger, calculated well, plays passes.
Yeah.
Jack, I agree with you. You know, what I love when Nuss came in last year, I love that gunslinger mentality, that Brett Favre, you know, he wanted to come in there and sling it. He looks like a quarterback right now.
Only 2 incompletions.
No, well, yeah, he's 20 for 24 for 191. That's pretty good in the first half of football. And, you know, I think this game, a lot of people predicted this to be a high-scoring game, and it hadn't been that. But I think this has been a well-played game by both teams, and, you know, it's going to be a heck of a second half. We got to get a stop, and we got to keep grinding on offense. Go back to the LSU's first drive. We got it all the way down to the goal line. I like Coach Kelly's call going for it there. Your fourth down, you're looking at, you don't like it?
I don't like it. It's the first,
Tell me why.
It's the first drive of the year. You got to put points on the board.
But you just drove the ball 80 yards all the way down the field. You're trying to make a statement. If we
would have scored, I would have liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love the call, because if you don't get it, then they're backed up and they got to go, you know, 97 yards to get a touchdown. I love that call right there. I wish we would have got a touchdown off of it, but we didn't. You look and see USC, they know we're blitzing. We're a blitz-heavy team. So what they're doing, their screen game has been big for them. You know, a lot of screens and stuff underneath. They're trying to slow us down, and it looks like it's taking Coach Baker out of that blitz package. But you still got to bring some heat. You know, Branch for them. He's shown to be a playmaker. Yeah. He's a guy that can change the game really quick, and he's one we're gonna have to stop the second half. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions. Jack, we just said it. Number 1 for USC is elusive. He's a game changer. A guy named Casey McKenzie, who's coming in from Vegas, he said, "Great job, guys. Don't know her. Don't know who she is." Eric Duvall, why can't we run the ball better with this O-line? Eric, it's just, you know, like I said, I had a comment on Facebook early in this game. USC was running a version of the Bear defense where it's basically they're covering the nose guard, both guards, and both tackles. And you have a lot of one-on-one matchups, you know. So we just got to get creative, get that running game going. If we do, it's gonna be really good for us.
Pass protection's been perfect though.
Pass protection has been unbelievable. You know, we talked about before the game that we thought this offensive line was going to be huge for Nussmeier. I don't know if he's gotten hit yet.
I think won that fourth down call.
Yeah,
First
he
drive.
did get hit, but he hadn't been hit much.
Yeah,
He's got so much time, and you know, anybody could sit back there and throw it around with the time he's given them. Casey, we done talked about that. Maybe you asked that before. I like the call going forward on fourth down on the first drive. I really do. And you know, they ran a blitz. We just didn't have the right play called at the right time, and they got in our face. Rusty, you saying where them dogs at on the O-line? They there, man. We just got to get some momentum and get it going. David Messina from across the river. Kicking that field goal was a wash. Yeah, that was big right there. That was a big kick, too, for LSU on our last
Shit,
drive.
Tiger fans got loud.
Yeah, well, I mean, for us. I'm talking about for us to go get and tie that game up. And, you know, that wasn't a chip shot kick.
It was a big kick.
And for almost to go put it in was unbelievable. Coach Jimbo Walker, well played except the three pre-snap penalties. Avoid those in the second half, and he thinks we'll pull it off. I agree, Jimbo. You know, it's early in the game, and I mean in the season, and you think you're going to get some of those pre-snap penalties. You want to do away with them as much as you can. That atmosphere has got to be rocking up there. Madden, you got any thoughts or any questions on your side?
No, nothing.
Brett Massengale, he agrees with you, Madden. He said we should have gone for 3 on the first drive. I like the call. Like I said, I'm gonna stand behind it. Ben, pass blocking is elite. They're sending 6 or 7 guys, and they're trying to create one-on-one matchups and hope that one of their guys can win a block. And right now, LSU is doing really good picking them up. Chris wants to know how many yards Trey Dez has. He doesn't have any yet, Chris, but they got to throw in the ball for Trey Dez to get some yards, man. I don't know if this is the right opportunity to throw the young buck in there, but he's gonna be big. I tell you, Chris Dillinger is having a really good game for sure. Carl Dunn wants to know. He's just telling us he's glad Snapback is back. Talk about the keys for this second half. You know, we gotta stop Branch. You know, he's a guy that can change this game really quickly. We got to slow him down, and we can't let Miller Moss get comfortable back there. I mean, he's comfortable already. You know, he's a guy. Both of these quarterbacks, to me, in my opinion, they'll play on Sundays. You know, if they play the way they're playing right now in these big time moments, and this is really the first big starts for both of those guys, and they look like they're well prepared, and they're handling the pressure really good. Mike J.H. said he's been waiting on a tight end to shine since Robert Royal. Robert Royal was a dog, Mike. He was a dog. I played with him, played in Buffalo, played in Washington. But I'll tell you right now that Mason Taylor, I was watching that first half, and I'm like, man, this dude is taking a game over like Gronk used to in New England. You can't stop him.
You can stick to dude, too.
Yeah, what I love about it, you saw he caught that pass, and he lowered his shoulder. And he got in his face as he was getting up. If we can stay healthy this year, you know, I think this is a team that can go, and I know it's early, in the college football playoffs and make some noise. We got to get better in the secondary, you know. But for us to be better in the secondary, we got to keep getting pressure up front with our D-line and our blitz package. And I think Coach Baker, he's going to learn these guys. You know, he's going to learn when he can call those pressures and what guys to put in what situations. Harold Perkins had a big hit early in the game. Dude. You know, he came, we talked about it with that Joker package. He was scot-free, unblocked. If you don't block Harold Perkins in big situations, you know, it's going to be trouble. And that's just, that goes back to Coach Baker putting him in situations and them having identified a front. And, you know, he's got to be big. I'm going right now calling Harold Perkins creating a turnover in the second half.
We need our linebackers to step up, stop the run. I don't think I've seen.
No,
a bunch of
I agree
tackles
with you.
from the
They do.
linebackers.
They're getting to the second level too easy, and I think part of that is we're running some run blitzes where same thing USC was doing to us early. There's one-on-one matchups across the board, and when you're blitzing linebackers, all those running backs have to do is to get to one hole.
Miss one
They
guy
used to
and get to
teach
one
us
hole.
offensive linemen to get them to the line of scrimmage. If they're manned up across the board, all you got to do is let them get to the line of scrimmage, and you go bust it free. We, may need to pick our poison with those run blitzes. Maybe not do it as much, but they're good. Miller Moss is sitting back there throwing it all around. Their running game is going. They've made plays in special teams, but right now we got a tie ball game. It's a 10-10 ball game, and it's going to come down to whoever breaks first in the
Gotta get a
second half.
stop. Gotta get a
We got to
stop.
get a stop. Yep, got to get a stop. Nuss has just got to keep doing what he's doing. And you look at what USC was trying to do early. They were playing soft off of us on the outside, and you saw our first play to Lacey. It was just a 5-7 yard hitch. They're backed off, and you keep working that underneath stuff. We hadn't taken a ton of shots over the top right now. You're missing Chris Hilton, who I think once we add him, he's going to stretch his defense. And you got Lacey deep underneath. You got Mason Taylor, who's, you can throw to him out the backfield and the short and intermediate stuff. And then you throw a Chris Hilton in there that can go take the top off the coverage. And you get this running game going. This offense shows a lot of promise here for the Tigers, and it's going to be a fun year. But, we got to go get this first win, or y'all going to all be calling for him to fire Coach Kelly after this first game. But I really like what I've seen so far. This team they look really good, look well prepared. We got to tighten some things up in the secondary. Madden, you got slacking
can't-
when you.
The flow Nuss showing is legit.
Yeah, the flow. Nuss, he's calm, bro. He's back there and he's just,
Reminds me of Jaden. Just not. You look at his expression. It's just calm.
Yeah, and that's what you want out of a quarterback, and I think both of those guys are showing it. Miller Moss and Nussmeier, both they're not fazed by it. They both look like guys that have been playing, starting for 3 seasons in college football, and they're both handling it really well. I think USC's offensive line, they've kind of stepped up and they've played well. It's just been a really good matchup. You heard Coach talk about early in the week about if you just turn on the film and you look at USC and you look at their bodies, they have SEC caliber guys. And you look at it on film, they're big across the front. They got guys with a lot of speed in their special teams and outside. They got a receiver 6'6", number 2. He's making plays down the field. So I think it's a real even matchup. You look at this, and I think a lot of people, a lot of national people thought this game was going to be lopsided towards LSU. But what Lincoln Riley is doing with his USC team, you can tell they're going to be tough on that West Coast. They're going to give people some problems. We just need to do whatever it takes to go get this win. Joe Phoenix. Joe, we've been watching Boogie, man. We're waiting to see what he's going to do this year in football season. Joe's saying the defense needs to get more pressure on the quarterback and step up as a whole. Joe, I agree with you because, you can't give Miller Moss, from the looks of it, you can't give him time in the pocket. So the only way you're going to rattle him, and we've done it a few times, is you got to bring pressure in his face, make him get out of the pocket. If you let him just stand back there, he's going to pick you apart, a lot like Nuss, Like I said, I really like what I'm seeing out of both of these guys. Ben saying Lincoln Riley doing a great job with the screens to slow our pressure down. I agree with you, and we talked about that earlier. That's one way to stop a team that's blitz heavy is the underneath stuff and the screens. So they're letting our pressure, everybody get up the field, and then when you dump it and you complete it, there's nobody there at the second level, and our secondary is having to come up and make plays. Let's see. All right, so somebody, where you at? You on YouTube? Said Miller Moss is Stetson Bennett.
I don't think that's.
Huh?
I don't think that's an accurate comparison.
You don't. From what I've seen, Miller Moss could be better than Stetson
Yeah,
Bennett.
I think he
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he moves a lot better than Stetson Bennett does, and he reads the defense better.
Yeah, I agree with
Because
you.
he doesn't have the players Stetson Bennett had. And he's making do with the
I
players.
agree
he
with
has.
you. You know, just why, and we've only watched one half of football, but you know, that's hard. Stetson Bennett had a great college career, but right now, if you ask me if you had a gun to my head and say which one's better, I'm telling you, Miller Moss has more potential. You know, what you smiling
I don't
at,
think
bro?
you can say
cheesing.
that. You say you got a gun to my head.
Huh? Why you can't say that? We can say what we want, man. Carl Dunn secondary needs to tighten up a bit. They're there, but need to be better. I tell you, Carl, you bring that up. We do need to be better in the secondary, but what about the play by Stamps? And I think it could come back being a game changer. The ball, it was complete to
caught it,
10
yeah.
for them in the end zone. Stamps was there. He stumbled a little bit, but he kept playing, and he knocked that ball out of his hands. That would have been 7.
Yeah.
And they wind up having to kick the field goal and go for 3 because they ran the play after that and had the illegal blindside block, and then it moved them back. So you look back at that play that Stamps made in the end zone was going to be big. And, you know, I think we've got to go get a stop here when they get the ball coming out of this second half. And, you know, we're going to like where we're at. If we can get a stop here, we got to get 2 stops this second half. If we get 2 stops without USC getting points, LSU's going to win this ball game. You getting antsy, man. You ready to get off of here?
I mean,
nervous?
just gotta start.
All right, here we go. Follow us after this game. We'll come back with a recap. Hopefully it's to talk about the Tigers' victory. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you go like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Twitter. Where else we have? Facebook. Go like and subscribe. YouTube, all of them. Snap back, halftime. We out.
Nussmeyer for Heisman.
There it is.